Well, a long time coming, but you're finally here, ready to defend your crown as world champions. What's the approach been and the development of the build-up into this been like?
Yeah, look, it's been a while, and things have changed a fair bit for us in the preparation. You know, back home there was 2 NRLW seasons because of the postponement of the last year's NRLW season, so we didn't have an opportunity to pull the squad together, where in the past we'd have them together for three or four times through the year. So that was a little bit different. But having said that, you know, they spent longer in a high-performance environment in their NRLW clubs, and you know, just pulling them together a couple of days after the grand final and having a camp back in Australia before we got here has definitely been beneficial. And all the girls have done really well. They've bonded really well, and they've played well throughout the season.
When you look at the kind of 5-year period going back to the end of the last World Cup, there's been such a development in the NRLW, but also in the Women's Super League over here, and competitions around the world. That must set this up to be the most competitive, but also the highest quality Women's Rugby League World Cup we've ever seen.
Yeah, it will be, no doubt. Like the quality of the players, the quality of the domestic competitions in all of the countries has gone to the next level. After we won the World Cup in 2017, we all thought we were going to get a bit of a break, but it was pretty much, you know, the next day that the NRLW were knocking on the door going, we need to put together a competition for the athletes. We all, you know, there's a great spirit of collaboration across the women's game and women's sport. So all the nations have been learning off each other about how we train females and how we raise the bar in terms of fitness and strength standards, injury prevention, and what that's going to show us is, you know, that these teams are going to be better prepared, they're going to be faster, they're going to be stronger than they've ever been. So it's a really exciting time to be watching women's rugby league.
From a coaching perspective, the increased coverage, certainly the game over here, the Betfred Women's Super League, the increased coverage of various streaming, BBC, does that make it easier for you as a coach to be able to look at the players that you might be coming up against further down the line and identify, you know, who the dangers are?
Yeah, most definitely. We've there's pretty much probably the only team that hasn't, you can't see players play for the Brazilian, but they had a run around yesterday, so with their game on YouTube. But there's definitely great coverage of the competition here in the UK, and yeah, it is great to be able to see the girls play. We don't put a lot of emphasis into the opposition at the moment. You know, like we're just concentrating a lot on how our girls perform. But you know, there's some fantastic players, and it's important to know what those threats are.
What's the kind of verdict and opinion on the women's game over here, like in Australia? Because obviously NRLW, professional comp, high performance comp, we're not quite there yet over here, we're getting there. Is there a kind of high opinion of the rising stock?
Yeah, no, I think so. Like, you know, we were probably behind the competition here. I think there was a Super League program running well before the NRLW. You know, it seemed to be that there was 3 really strong teams here in the women's competition, and you know, we've got 6 at home with the moving to 10. So we'd hope that the World Cup being here and exposing it to a whole bunch of young ladies and more talent across the nation here, that your Super League would see the growth that we saw in the NRLW in 2018.
After a real drought of international football, how excited is it to go into a game like Australia-New Zealand, which is obviously in any sport massive?
Yeah, huge. Australia-New Zealand, Australia-England, like not having those competitions happen since, you know, 2019, and at the Nines and a Test match against New Zealand. 3 years is a long time without international sport, and we need our international teams to play, because that's what the young ladies see and aspire to be, and that helps our domestic competitions and just raises the bar again.
A brand new experience for so many of your players coming over here and playing in this World Cup. How much of the next few weeks is obviously about winning that trophy, but also just embracing this experience and enjoying this?
Yeah, it's been key in what we've tried to plan. We've only got 3 players that have been to cold climate to play rugby league before, and that was the 2013 World Cup, and none of our players have had such a long campaign. So there's a fair bit that we needed to plan around that, making sure that it's a great life experience for our players. They're happy off the field. they have the opportunity and the ability to inspire some of the young ladies and work with the girls from the other team. So they're all looking forward to those interactions just as much as what they are with the games.
Well, best of luck. Enjoy the next few weeks as much as you can.
Yeah, thanks very much, mate.
Nice.